All right, welcome back to another episode of the Black Bullion Show for goldandsilvertoday.com. Check that website out, everybody. Okay, so gold and silver are holding strength for a second day in a row. Now, remember, yesterday I said that, I would like to see a trend develop in prices before I start jumping for joy. So this is day 2 of gold and silver being above their, to this point, 50-day moving averages. Now today, gold touched above 1950 an ounce, where it still is right now. Silver is still above $25 an ounce. So guys, we're still in positive territory for the metals. And to be very, very honest here, last night I thought we will be waking up to a shock as I saw Dow futures in the red, S&P futures in the red, and NASDAQ futures in the red, and also some of my favorite leveraged VIX futures ETFs in the green. So SQQQ up, UVXY, and others. So to me, that said, okay, the dollar's about to go up, and gold and silver might have a hard day on Friday. Then, well, I woke up today, and obviously after the jobs report, everything pretty much reversed back to its regularly scheduled bullish program. For the VIX, the VIX got smacked down again. And, I essentially then breathed a sigh of relief for bullion, knowing that, okay, the dollar is going to remain lower. As you see it right here, the dollar, or DXY, I should say, is at 92.22. So we're getting lower into the 92s for the DXY, which is a good sign. Remember, I talked about our 1-2 punch from yesterday. So what's the 1 punch? That is the DXY. What's the 2 punch? Well, that is this guy right here, the US 10-year Treasury. Now, the 10-year looks particularly and relatively risk-on in comparison to where it was the past couple of days. So even though the 10-year is up comparatively with where it was, the DXY has kept lower, kept to a lower level, helping to give a nice boost to bullion prices today. So yes, we're back above 0.8%, where we were in the high 0.7s yesterday in the 10-year. But because the DXY has remained lower, we have a nice environment still available and present for gold and silver prices to remain elevated, which is a good thing. Now, let's start talking about things that are happening, overall in the country that could be impacting the markets and also bullion prices. So check this out, guys. All of this positivity in the market that's happening is great, but we may be completely ignoring the skyrocketing cases that we're getting in the US when it comes to what we call here the Ronies. And I say that because I don't want YouTube to flag this video and, bad things will happen. But I actually drove past a testing center yesterday, and there was this huge line during lunchtime. And a lot of the people who were standing in line were people who are my age. And if you can't tell, well, obviously you can't see my face, but, I'm a millennial. Not Gen Z, I'm a millennial. But yeah, there are people in my age group. But I bring this all up because the markets, I don't think they're currently pricing this in. We're well above 100,000 cases in this country now. We've pretty much been above that for the past, couple of days now. So, I don't think that the markets will begin to price this in until after all of this hubbub with the election begins to settle. So once the dust settles there, then maybe, just maybe, the market will start pricing this in, but who knows? We'll see. Speaking of the election, hate to bring this up if you guys are kind of tired of hearing about the election, but I wanted to bring this up regarding what happened this morning. Now, a lot of election updates may have given rise to risk on trading this morning, as many of us woke up to Pennsylvania flipping its lead to Biden, actually. Now, this is big because, Trump was in the lead there. And also take a look at this map. Trump was also in the lead in Georgia. And then it flipped to blue. Now, that's really big when you consider that, again, overnight, Dow futures were in the red. And after we got that big jobs report this morning, and now we're starting to see, some states flipping its lead, we're seeing much more of that continued trend of positivity in the markets from the jobs report. But then also we're seeing the market being given what it was pretty much asking for this whole week, which is, it seems like, this potential Biden presidency. I don't want to say Biden presidency in a final way, because funny enough, I was watching CNBC this morning and they were interviewing the Uber CEO. That interview was completely interrupted by another anchor who said, "Looks like Biden is the president." And the Uber CEO was just kind of taken off guard, and he was like, "Oh, well, that sounds great. We have some positivity here as far as, who's going to be the president." And then later on, all of the anchors just started, just over and over saying, we can't say that, Biden's president. There's no certainty here. It was just hilarious seeing them just doing that backtracking. So, but what we are seeing are states flipping in its lead. And we're likely seeing this. And because of this, gold and overall markets have been going up. Gold and silver have been catching a bid in anticipation of essentially bathing in a flood of fiat. So just something to watch out for. But going back to gold and silver, we will likely end the trading week in positive territory. Look out for any major news from the president's camp, as it may impact prices by the end of the day. We will see. But like many of you have said yesterday, perhaps Black Bullion, you should have pulled the trigger earlier in getting your 2020 silver maple leaves. And you know what, guys? Maybe you are 100% correct. But honestly, I'm not too eager to make any moves right now. Even today, whether it's in my trading or purchasing physical gold and silver, until the dust settles with the election. Things are just a little bit too wonky right now, or at least today and even yesterday, for my taste. But that's just me playing the waiting game, kind of playing it a little bit safe here. But what about you guys? Let me know how you feel about everything that kind of happened today in the comment section below. Thanks again for watching. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you're new. It's Black Bullion for goldandsilvertoday.com.